Today we have Dante, my friends Dante and Rebekah, coming to do the show. We're gonna walk, we're gonna talk. They are comedians, they are business owners, they are activists, they are a married couple. And I'm just a big fan, and I think we're gonna have a nice conversation about all kinds of things: comedy, cooking, marriage, whatever else shit is going on just around us. I'm excited. Dante and Rebekah today on the show.
Just this.
What's your side? Do you have a preference?
This is my better side.
This is my good side too.
All right, I'm
So
rolling.
maybe I should be on this side so you look at me with your...
Sure.
It
They're good
doesn't matter.
sides.
I'm just joking.
Oh.
Are we filming?
Yep.
Well, so guys, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having us.
I'm just excited that you've never been here because it's a beautiful spot. You'll enjoy at least the walking part, and I hope that we'll get to, the talking, and I have so many questions.
So this is Lake Hollywood, right?
This is Lake Hollywood. It's a reservoir. We drink that water. That's why there's a fence.
So that people don't go pee-pee
good.
in it.
So the people don't go pee-pee. There's no dogs allowed for that same reason,
I see.
I think. I also have seen a mountain lion here once.
You
What?
said?
So I think
Was it on
that
the other side of the fence, I hope?
That's bananas.
it was actually crossing from this side to that side.
It was just like, oh hey, don't mind me, I'm just passing through.
And I was like, you think that you'll have a certain reaction when something like that happens, and then I just froze, and I was like, well, that's a big cat. And so that's got me thinking that maybe when they say no dogs allowed,
That's
partially
why.
it's because for
Right,
the
they don't want
dogs'
them eaten.
safety, yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my.
Yeah, a lot of times things that sound unfair to us have other reasons. Like a friend of mine, she posted something, she's a black woman, and she posted something about how she's not mad at Starbucks because if someone's allowed to wear Black Lives Matter pens and someone wants to wear a Nazi pen, why aren't they allowed to? You know what I mean? Because the big issue is everyone was mad at Starbucks for not allowing their employees to wear Black Lives Matter stuff, but that could lead to safety problems. If you live in Kentucky and you're the only one
Right.
wearing that and someone punches you at work, whether it's another employee or a, you know what I mean?
You're exposing,
you're exposing your
yourself to
employees,
some
right?
potential violence against that person.
Right.
yeah.
The company should come out for Black Lives Matter and donate money, but
I hope they
don't
do.
think employees of any company should be wearing anything political because it could get them hurt in any way.
And
right?
Starbucks doesn't need any more of our money, you know what I mean? How much
Right,
money
give it
do we have
back.
to continue to give to Starbucks for crying out
I
loud?
kind of stopped going to Starbucks because
Us too.
too.
We
It's
started
just,
making our own.
it just started feeling like I'm in a it's just not right. You feel like you have to be there every day and have that coffee, and you're
And I was that
addicted.
girl for years, I really was.
I don't know if I want to be.
Now
in
we
this
buy Intelligentsia. I make my own
Right.
espresso.
Or we go, I try to support local places.
Right. We try not to hit up anything that's too corporate now.
I actually want to invite one of the coffee shop in Hollywood owners to do this because they have kept it open the whole time for 3 months. They may be shut down for a couple of days.
Really?
And then they reopened, and I've been getting my coffee there. I've been getting some donuts sometimes. Cheating on my diet, whatever.
You can cheat.
I had it once in 3 months. I did it once. I was hungover, in my defense, and I just woke up. I was like, just coffee is not gonna cut it today.
I don't want to hear it.
But regardless,
That chip salad, I've been baking banana bread.
Right.
That ship
she
failed
did, but she
months
always
ago.
tries to make everything healthy and organic.
I'm trying to do intermittent fasting to compensate.
I'm doing no carbs, no sugar, and then occasionally I have a donut, but then I work out for 4 hours straight. So we're good.
Woo! That's
Yeah.
a lot of working out.
Good for you.
You got it.
Well, but there's so much time, right? Not anymore. We're kind of it's June 12th today, so we're officially back to reopening and
Ish,
kind of
sort of.
Right.
legally.
And summer is coming upon us, and beaches are opening, right?
Yeah.
And restaurants, some of them, social
Right.
distance restaurants.
Yeah.
What a weird time. I was thinking, anything being recorded at this time, you're seeing people wearing masks and keeping distance unless, they're doing an interview or something. And it's crazy that in a year even from now, or in 10 years, how people will look back on this
It already
crazy
seems
time.
weird, yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully, we all look back.
It's a weird year, though.
Everything's weird.
I'm so I'm like scared and excited about like what's next this year.
Me
Because
too.
like with the pandemic, it was hard to imagine that something's gonna happen. So like kind of, you know, be more of a news than that.
Well,
And
how
then
about
this is
just
happening.
even the whole presidential race should have been the only big news of this year. That's what everyone
Right,
had been
normally
waiting for.
that's like the main news for like a year and a half leading up to it.
Right,
it's
and
been,
then
like, we
some
keep
murder in the
forgetting.
news or something would happen, and it's just back and forth on those two. But then you've got COVID on top of it. Then you've got Black Lives Matter.
I secretly am hoping that Vladimir Putin is gonna start dating Melania Trump.
Yes,
Behind-
Imagine that would be
behind-
like the greatest coup
of all time.
of all time.
He didn't want our country.
awesome.
He wanted her the whole time. That would be amazing.
Please let Melania leave Donald
He's
Trump
a single
for.
dude.
Please.
Right, he needs it. He needs to settle down.
And I'm sure Melania needs a break. She needs to get out at this point. You know
Right,
what I
she
mean?
needs someone
I'm sure she's over it.
She certainly looks like she needs a break.
I know the poor woman looks completely miserable, and people are like, "That's just how she looks." I'm like,
No.
I don't know. She looks pretty miserable consistently.
Right, my wife doesn't smile at me, and then the minute I turn my head, her smile drops. Right?
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But I'm hoping for something like that. Something scandalous and crazy but funny. Not another like
Right.
pandemic or disaster or
Right.
hopefully no more violence.
No more violins either. We don't need that anymore.
No.
No one's really into that kind of music.
No, you're right.
Nobody.
Dante's a comedian by the way.
Oh, and I smoke
that
a lot
was
of weed,
joke.
so
Just kidding.
someone seemed to put that in my
About
vape
that,
pen.
so I was started following this. Maybe you guys can explain me what this is because I knew who to ask. So it's just this CBD brand that I kind
Oh,
of started
crazy.
following on Instagram. Again, maybe they'll become the sponsor of this podcast.
So what is this brand?
Well, it's called Elite CBD, and they gave me these to try, and they gave me a bunch, so I'm gonna give one.
Thank you.
I'm gonna share.
Thank
Good.
you. So is this CBD,
But
no
what is it?
THC?
Yes, exactly. Like, how does it work?
Oh,
Is it
that's a
just
good
like
one.
a cigarette?
Yep, but with CBD in it. How crazy.
Oh, so it's just a joint.
But
is
it just
it-
says CBD though. It doesn't say THC, so I'm wondering how they would do that.
Wait, let me
I have
see.
no clue. I've never heard of this and I smoke weed. Because
So I figured
why
you'd
would you
do
give
the
me
right-
something without the THC in it?
That's
Right.
that's weed, but not weed. We're not doing a good job like promoting the
No,
product.
but it's actually a great product for people who,
Don't
like
get high.
weed, use it for the medicinal purpose but don't want the high. It's actually an incredibly great product.
It really
Does that
is.
make sense?
Okay. So
Right, like I
that's-
give this to my dad because my dad does the CBD without the THC. 'cause
And some
he's-
people like a cigarette sometimes, and he'll have a brandy later and maybe
Right.
even try it and think
Right.
it's good.
That's what I'm planning on doing with that because I don't smoke
Thank
weed,
you.
but I do have trouble falling
Put 'em in.
asleep sometimes. And they gave me like tinctures.
Tinctures, yeah.
Yeah. Those
We
are
have
great,
those as
right?
well.
Those
yeah.
are amazing.
I love the tinctures, and the CBD is really good for your insides too. It's doing all sorts
What's
of
the
good
right
stuff.
way to say it?
Tincture.
Tincture, yeah.
Tincture.
I know it's a weird word.
Isn't it tincture?
Tincture. Tincture, that's the one.
Tincture. I've been saying it wrong the whole time.
I don't care.
I'm the asshole, man. I've said tincture to who knows how many people.
Can you guys, I want to tell you something. This is terrible. So I go to a weed,
This is terrible. Why would you tell us then?
because I'm just
No,
going
it's
to,
not like we're being filmed.
I go to a weed, what do you call it? Like, if you've ever been to a baseball card convention, I go to this underground weed convention where you walk in and instead of paying $400 for an ounce, you pay like $100 for an ounce. Or instead of paying like, $80 for a
like
weed pen, you
wholesale
pay like
prices?
$10. Yes. You're buying it at market prices. So, it's a floating place, but they usually end up at the same locations. And during the looting, someone burned down my weed location. It was on Melrose. There's like 3 buildings on Melrose I care about. That's it.
What's the other two?
The Improv and Sal's Comedy Hole. And my weed joint. I don't even care about the other weed joints.
Right. We saw it on the news. We were like, not the weed joint.
Right, they were showing Starbucks. I'm like, that Starbucks is on the other side of my weed joint.
That was, yeah, terrible.
That sucked.
That sucked.
Yep. But that, I just got a text from them. They text you where the location will be. It changes.
Got it.
It's a secret society of weed people. But if you ever want to hook up, I'll hook you up. Just tell them you know Dante.
But we have been getting our weed delivered old school style, and it's sort of nostalgic. You know what I
What's
mean?
the old school, like with the
Meaning
drunk
they come to
having
your
call
house
a pot
and shit.
dealer,
Yeah.
and then they come to your house and drop off your stuff.
Yeah, because I don't like going to those weed places anymore because of COVID. So now the main guy I went to at those places, I'm friends with, I just call him up, and then he brings me over bags of stuff.
So you smoke weed, but you stop drinking, right? You don't.
I don't drink anymore.
Right, yeah.
But I'm not recovering anything. I just don't drink.
Just don't.
Yeah, it just me too. I mean,
I
you know,
lost so much weight the minute I stopped drinking.
That
Justin
is
Jones put
so,
weight on
like,
me.
Inspirational of
Yeah.
you. I love when you post those mirror selfies and they're like borderline like nude photography. And every time I'm like, oh, that's an interesting angle. But you know, you always kind of have a super awesome message to go with it. And then
Yeah, I mean, I lost.
So,
I actually, she knows. I have body dysmorphia. I will go to sleep and have a dream that I'm really fat, and then I wake up, and when I look in the mirror, I still don't feel my size. I can even
Well, you
see an
look
ab in the mirror. Thank you, thank you.
He
But I'm just
does.
saying, it's very weird to me. I think it's because I was heavy for so long.
are you
when I was
dieting
younger.
though? Like, is there any
No.
kind of anything else that you cut out that?
No, I just, you know what my sister told me a long time ago? She was like, just portions. You know, cut your portion down. Instead of going to McDonald's and getting 2 cheeseburgers and a large fries and a Diet Coke, go there and get 1 cheeseburger and no fries and a water, right? And don't eat the bread. You know, like tear it off the bread and eat the meat, and then I bet you won't be, you maybe will be hungry for 2 days like that. But after that, you don't even worry
Stomach
about food.
shrinks,
I
yeah.
never think about food. She's always like, babe, what are we eating? I'm like, I don't care anymore.
I see. So basically, stop drinking alcohol and you lost a bunch of weight right away, and that's it.
Well, and also working out more. People have to remember just to do it every day, and I don't go to a gym. She doesn't go to a gym, but this
How do you,
lady,
like,
she hangs
not-
upside down and does.
That's another
Sit-ups.
thing I wanted to talk to you about because I started doing yoga. And
Yeah.
but my whole life I've been like, I fucking hate yoga.
Yeah.
I need something intense. I can't just sit still. And then I tried like working out and doing yoga, and I was like, this is fucking hard.
right?
It is. It
It's
works you.
really,
How do I
really
do
hard.
this?
Well, and also because you're also trying to like make your mind be quiet too and just focus
Yeah,
on the
that's
breath.
the hardest part.
Right?
Yeah.
Totally, it's the hardest
But
part.
but if you know, this is surprising to me that you don't know about this spot because like I come here to work out every day. I either just walk in or run, or I just drive up to the other side where the bridge is, and I kind of like set up a little yoga mat and just
Cool.
like stretch there. And I don't know.
No, it's. I mean, I used to go to
It's
Runyon
like in
Canyon all the time,
Hollywood,
but now
too.
there's like 80 million people every time you go to Runyon. Where I'm like,
Yeah.
Why this is a better spot.
yeah.
Wow, these houses around here are amazing.
Soon.
That's it. That's it. Yeah, I came here the other day, but I just drove around it. I didn't come to the lower area. I was up more like where those houses are, I think. But yeah, it's gorgeous here.
It really is.
Yeah, Rebecca, we have she got us an inversion machine. You know, those
Inversion
things
table.
you can hang upside down. And
Because
so,
he has arthritis in his back, and that's
Yeah.
supposed to be one of the best things to hang upside down and make sure you're this disc in your
God.
spine or getting space between them.
but this monster hangs upside down and does her sit-ups.
But yeah, it's really good for you.
Hence the shape.
I thank you. But I do a lot of
Upside down
upside down
stuff.
stuff because it's good for your everything.
Yeah, she's always
That's
on her
what they
head.
say. And I do
Every
so.
picture I have at
every time you guys tour,
There's just underwear in the
it's
air.
always you and your feet up in the air in some hotel room. And
Right.
it's
I
just always like, this
know.
is amazing. You guys are always having such a good time. This is important to, especially in Hollywood. People are so weird and fake and
know,
all
they
this
are.
like bullshit.
know.
Even like especially right now with everything happening. With you, at least, you know, I follow both of you and I see this like very clear, very good message of just like solid positivity, and for whatever it is you do is like fun to follow.
She's a great woman. I just
Well,
want to be
He's
good
a
for
great
her.
man too, and we try just for like mental health reasons. I know for myself, like I just really try to work on myself and stay calm every day because I do have anxiety and I do have OCD. So it's like I'm already, when I start the day, I'm already in a place of like feeling like, oh my God, my anxiety is so bad. So I have to, well, I don't have to do anything, but I am able to, my quality of life, I should say, is much better when I meditate first thing in the morning and I make sure I do my headstands and do some deep breathing, all that stuff.
It's a completely different, I've noticed that I have a completely different day to where if I get up and just go and just do something like a hike or a little stretch and then start my day.
Better day, right?
Comparing to just like waking up, putting pajamas on and like having
Totally.
coffee. And it's kind of like off to this like lazy start and then the whole day is like that.
Right. I even teach that in comedy. You stretch and get mentally prepared before your show, and you'll have a better show. Same with your day. Stretch and get mentally prepared for your day, and you're gonna have a better day.
Yeah.
You have that like energy boost.
Yeah.
Right. And even just set a little intention for your day. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I'm going to focus on doing this or that. So, and also like with all the stress that's been going on in the world, I've been telling myself like, okay, I know there's a lot of things that are probably going to be triggering for me, so I need to be aware to stay calm and centered and blah 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 blah.
Tell me about the video, like what happened with your video going viral? Like what?
Oh my
and then
goodness.
Rihanna's following you?
Yeah.
I'm dying. I'm
What?
dying. They're DM buddies. Like they've talked DM.
Yeah, she's
Like
a nice
Rihanna-
lady.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Whatever.
Whatevers.
Whatever.
Yeah, she was mad at me because Britney Spears followed me before that.
I was so mad.
Damn,
I was
Dante.
like, Britney, like Queen Britney. Britney's
Anyway,
my everything.
So I was sitting at home, and
That's like right. Sorry to interrupt you. That's like right by your house.
Yeah, it was right out in front. So our house is here, and our house takes up like half of the block because we have garages
Yeah.
and stuff. And then the next block is this apartment complex. And I see like 7 police cars and 2 helicopters going around. And so I grab my camera and I'm like, I'm going to go protect people with my video. I'm just going to make sure the cops are doing the right thing. And I do this all the time. I'm sometimes protecting the cops and sometimes I'm protecting whoever they're doing this to. And a lot of times, most of the time, I turn it over to the police and say, hey, if you guys need anything, I took a video. Sometimes they want it, sometimes they don't. But in this case, I stopped in the middle of it because I saw they had a 20-year-old kid on the ground with guns on him. And it's a nice car, and then this older gentleman gets out who can't even walk, who's obviously a grandpa, and I was like, if this was a white family, all of this would have stopped right here. But it didn't stop, and that's why I was like, hey, have they told you why they pulled you over? And this woman goes, I see them shaking their heads. No, they haven't told them why they're pulling them over. And so I keep yelling at the cops. I'm like, hey, why did you pull this family over? Give us a reason. Then one of the officers, his supervisor must have pulled up, and I caught him on film saying, I don't know why we pulled him over. The helicopter told us to, and now he's gone. And that's when I yelled exactly what he said to the whole crowd and said, let them go.
Right.
45 minutes later, they were still checking IDs with me screaming at them.
7 cop cars, helicopters. So like he goes up first, and I hear all this going on. I'm like, oh my god, there must have just been a homicide on our block, right? Like if there's this many cop cars and a helicopter, like some crazy shit must have gone down.
Yeah.
And I come outside, and there's just these 4 guys handcuffed against the wall, and everyone's yelling at the police. And I was like, holy shit.
And one of them is an older guy.
is an old man, right?
Right, and I am vocal all the time. Like when I first met Rebecca, what did my dad tell you? What was the first thing he ever said
He
to you?
said, you know, he's the real deal, you know. He's not just putting on an act for you. And it's true. He's like this all the time.
Right, I'm just passionate about good and bad. My friend Melissa, she was my best man at my wedding, and she said, and I'd never heard anyone say this about me, she goes, you know, the one thing I love about Dante, you can break him down to one thing. He loves right and wrong. He's always on the side of right. You know, and I was like, wow, I've never heard anyone say that out loud before, but that's what I'm trying to be.
So what ended up happening? They just let him go?
They let him go, of course. The guys, they pulled them over. Here's what makes me mad. The police have used a trick for forever. It's the robbery suspects. That means that they can take away your civil rights the minute they call you a robbery suspect because they can pull you over. They don't need to have just cause. Anyone who fits the description, but the problem was that family called to find out if there had been a robbery. There was not a robbery. These were looting suspects that a helicopter was just pointing out cars. Get them, get them. So basically the helicopter saw 4 black people and went, oh, there's blacks, get the black people.
Right.
Right, and so
then
that's
for
why the
45
video went
minutes.
viral, because I yelled at the police for 45 minutes to let them go. And
Right.
they still were like, doubling down and trying to see if these guys had warrants, and none of it was true. As a matter of fact, the older gentleman came out for his 71st birthday. He had never been to California before. They're from North Carolina. They're called the Lewis family, and they'd never been to California. And he also had prostate cancer, and they had just taken out all of his like insides, and he was celebrating his 1 year cancer-free
Right.
with his grandkids.
Right.
So it was just bad situation, and it was, here's the thing, and I said this in a video afterwards, it's not that these cops were necessarily bad cops, but they're a great example of what the black community is going through every day when they're not being killed. Because when they're not being killed, being pulled over for being black is common. It's common, right? Every friend I have who's white doesn't have a story like that. Maybe they got pulled over and they usually go, yeah, and the cops saw that I was drunk, but I told them I lived up there and they let me go. Every black person I know has a story about being pulled over for being black. In the 1990s, a good friend of mine named Paul Mooney, who was best friends and head writer for Richard Pryor, he got pulled over on Sunset Boulevard, and I saw him pointing and yelling at cops, and I asked him later that night, he came to the Comedy Store laughing and whatever. I was like, what happened? He goes, I was coming back from Richard Pryor's house in Bel Air, and there were two cars kind of parked in the middle of the street with some young kids talking to each other. I went around them. I see these kids pull out their phones and stare at my car. He goes, the minute I hit Sunset Boulevard, there's like 5 cops on me. They pull me over, and the whole time I'm like, why'd you pull me over? Why'd you pull me over? Finally, someone said, why? Then he goes, let me guess. You pulled me over because I was a black man in Bel Air. They're like, well, sir, why were you in Bel Air? And he goes, I was there to visit Richard Pryor. And they all laughed at him. And he went, oh, really? What is Richard Pryor's address? He's like, I would never give you Richard Pryor's address. And all
He
of a
does a
sudden,
great impression of Paul Mooney.
by the way, that is how he talks. Oh, homie, please.
That's a great impression.
I've known him forever. But anyway, so what ended up happening was one of the police officers went, oh my God, you guys, that's Paul Mooney. And that's when Paul Mooney went, oh, the gig is up. He's like, I want your badge number. I want your badge number. I want your badge number. And that's when I drove by and pulled over. And that's when he like smiled at me, yelling and whatever. But yeah, I mean, that's commonplace for most black people, is to be pulled over without actual reason. And then think of how many people have been incarcerated in this country for being a robbery suspect. They get pulled over, have a little weed on them, and now they're in jail for 10 years because the police pulled them over illegally. I bet you we could go through millions of dollars paying off those types of cases.
Right.
Billions. Billions. It's a crazy time we're living in.
It is. It's confusing.
It really is. All of it is.
Yeah.
You know, because it's not like people don't support the police. What I was trying to say about that video is it's not like those cops hit a man in his 70s, but they all had guns on him. They made him get down on his knees when he was shaking and couldn't.
Right, this old man.
Right. Watch the video. He's like this, and I'm like, God, don't even grab for your knee, bro. They're gonna shoot you. So it's not bad cops necessarily. It's bad policing, bad. All of it's just a bad thing. You know what I mean? It's like an unspoken rule that they can pull people over for a robbery suspect thing, and they all do it, and they all defend each other, right? I have had guns drawn on me one time, and it's when I was driving with a black friend of mine down Sunset again. I waved at some comedians at the Laugh Factory and honked. I didn't realize right next to the Laugh Factory there were some cops finishing up a ticket. They thought I was messing with them. So they see me and a black guy in my car, and I watch as I'm driving towards Highland. They are just doing this through traffic. Finally, they make me turn left on Highland and right into this little back alley. If you're ever at Highland and Sunset, there's this little back alley. You can barely get in it, and it ends. They get out with guns, put it to my head, and they're like, you know, IDs, blah, blah, blah. Do you know what they pulled me over for, they said? I told them, I said, by the way, I know why you pulled me over. I waved to my friends at the Laugh Factory. He goes, no, we pulled you over for a taillight. And I went, why are you pulling guns on me if you pulled me over for a taillight?
When was this?
92, 93.
Crazy.
No, because you know how they both start?
It's crazy.
Or no.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the spotlight is on all these police. Everyone is seeing what they're doing on the daily basis now, and it's like, the cameras are on. I know that there's a camera on me. And if I'm out here trying to represent the police force and show that we are not out to beat people, I wouldn't turn and kick some girl in the head knowing that there's a camera, but they're doing it every day on the news. It's insane. Don't you agree?
Absolutely.
Did I say too much words?
No.
I should have some more marijuanas.
Yes. But you know, it's frustrating, not frustrating, but it's confusing because like everybody has a phone, and so many people go to all these events,
Right.
bad or good, and then you just see there's so much more attention on like little pieces of information that are taken out of the context,
Right.
than like a larger, like
Well,
a
like
full episode or a full.
Well, that's why I
video.
left my whole video.
Yeah. So it's like you're just seeing all these things, and you're just like, wait a minute, who's bad? It's so hard to like process.
You're
all
right.
this
You are
information.
correct. We don't know what. Sometimes, if you see someone just pummeling someone, we don't know if they had
Like,
a gun
what
5 seconds
actually
before.
happened, yeah.
Right. But if you see the whole video and you see that they are corrupt and the other police are standing there complicit, that's what people are having a real problem with. We already know that the bad cop is bad.
Right.
We don't want any more cover-ups. We don't like every video you watch where
Right.
you see
And
6 more people standing around watching the violence happen.
And it just shows you if things are still this bad and they know that there's cameras on them all the time, think about what it's been like forever without
Forever
people
without
having
cameras.
Right.
Right. And they're acting like this knowing the whole world's filming them.
Right, that's what was mind
That's the
boggling.
mind-boggling. That's the best point of this whole video.
Yeah.
If they will act like that knowing we're watching, imagine what they do when we're not.
Right.
That's terrifying, honey.
And we're just seeing it now because everyone has a camera on their phone.
I had a dream last night that we got new
Which
frogs,
is
so I hope I
was
find some
telling my
today.
friend actually the other time we were recording this, there's a website you can submit all the footage that's relating to these protests
Good.
and riots and just make it public record. That's what I did because we were, we were filming some of the stuff from the roof where I live in Hollywood, and you just
Yeah, you can see everything.
you
Right.
see everything, and
Wow.
at least now everybody's collecting all this information. At some point, somehow it can be useful.
Right.
Yeah, that's good.
It's tough, because we're in a weird situation where you're asking an entire police, like not even police force, because it's the entire country, and other countries are standing up because obviously they feel the same way about their own police. So it's a major change that needs to happen, and I really think what always helps, and we saw this happen with the military, when you move up the people that are the oppressed ones, when you move up people of color into powers of position, right? Women, minorities, all those things, we end up with something better. She and I perform all over the world for the U.S. military, and I've done it for 30-something years, and when I used to go to these places, everybody looked like how cops look now. They all just look like jugheads and mean and like stormtroopers. Our military now, if you have not been on a base in a while, they look like
Everyone.
and they are
That's
nice people who can still get the job done, but
Right.
there's a lot of brains right now. There's a lot of like really smart people, and almost
women-
every base I go to,
Right, a woman is the one overseeing everything. The
The commander.
top-ranking officer on the base is a woman, more and more so all the time. I saw like the person that oversees all our military bases in Kuwait, the lieutenant general, is a woman. And
Yes,
this is
she
the
was a badass.
Man, one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life is we were on this military base, and this guy was like showing us around, and they're like, "Oh, you're gonna meet the lieutenant general soon." And there was like 20 soldiers just hanging around, and all of a sudden this woman walks in, and everyone stands up and goes to attention really quick.
And you turn
this,
around
like,
as a
little
woman.
like walks in because she's lieutenant general. I was like, that is the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life, right there. Like it was like it gave me goosebumps. I was like, wow, how empowering.
but
you know what I mean?
almost every base we went to, I would say 9 out of 10 had female commanders, right?
Yeah, women are taking over our military.
Right,
As
and
they
the people,
should.
and they got as much respect as the men, more sometimes,
Right.
because they had to demand it.
But I thought, how cool is that these young guys that are 18 that are just now joining the military are like, all they're going to know is the highest ranking officer is a female. Like that's going to be their norm.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's
And
a
there are
big
so many gay and lesbian people in the military, open.
deal. Openly gay, yeah.
Like pictures on their desks when you walk in, and I'm
Right.
like, oh, thank you, God.
Right.
When do you think you're gonna go back to like traveling, performing?
They keep
Right?
calling us,
I
and,
have
and then
no
I have
idea.
dates, but I've canceled all of them.
Well, for the
We had
military,
to.
I mean, I don't think anyone's doing military tours right now because of COVID and everything, but
But even the comedy clubs in America, we've canceled everything for ourselves, and we
We
run
have.
festivals. We even run comedy clubs, and it's
Yeah,
like
I know,
we don't know.
I've been.
I know, it's so fun,
I've
right?
actually-
You were a judge at
I
our
was
comedy.
a judge
at the U.S.
because
Comedy Contest.
My sense of humor is just that impeccable. It's so good.
It is. You do have a good sense of humor, and you're
Yeah.
smart, and you're in the
Thank you.
industry.
What is your perfume? Are you wearing Amarish?
It's my secret weapon.
Oh!
I'm not telling
All
you.
right.
But actually, at the show that you had in Pasadena, where I was
Yeah, the Ice House?
I kind of friended a few people from who were performing, and like over the years now, we've just kept in touch with some. This one guy, he's been like in all feature films that I've produced.
Wow.
He's been like a with me because, you know, yeah,
Wow.
it's great.
Very cool.
Thanks to you. Are we trying to start another pandemic?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Marmosets and
In our front yard.
and bats. Yeah.
I had a whole list of questions, and of course I left it at home.
Oh,
You're
I did
awesome.
want to mention this. So one weird thing, since we were talking about that video that went viral, two things happened. I got a call from the Secret Service.
Oh yeah, the Secret Service.
Yeah, Secret Service called me 3 days ago because I had tweeted that when Donald Trump gassed us in a church for a photo op, that is a sign of treason and treasonous actions. I said traitors should be hung in public. And the Secret Service called me, and I could tell.
Called.
Called.
not-
Called, and I had to go to the other room because the woman was like, "Hi, my name is so-and-so from the Secret Service." And I was like, "Here it comes. Let's find out which of my tweets did it." Because I'm militant as shit. But I know the law. I know my First Amendment rights, and I would never say, "Let's go hang him right now." I said, traitors should be hung in public. So anyway, she calls and she goes, "Hi, sir. One of your tweets on May 31st was about hanging, the president and blah, blah, blah." And I said, "I know what you're talking about." I said, "But is there a problem?" I said, "I know my First Amendment rights. There's nothing wrong with the tweet." She goes, "Sir, you are so right. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just that when we get, something flags someone, we have to call them and follow up."
What's the purpose of the call? Just
To intimidate me,
Yeah.
apparently, right? Don't do that anymore. But I'm sure Donnie or somebody got their feelings hurt by something I said, and
Honey.
I'm like, "Call that guy. Make sure he doesn't."
He is on Twitter all the time.
All the time. Of course he found me and called it in, or somebody did.
Wow.
But anyway, I was like, "So, what is the point of the call?" She's like, "Well, again, I don't want to take away your First Amendment rights. It's just that you really need to, really think about what you say when, you use words." And I'm like, "I always think about what I say when I use words, but thank you for the advice."
I couldn't believe that the Secret Service actually called them.
Then my
What's
poor
the
wife
Secret
got panicked.
Service is like the
It's like-
president's
Right.
people, right?
Correct.
Yeah. It's not CIA or whatever.
No. So these are the people that protect the president.
Probably
They're supposed to
KGB.
follow up on stuff. And guess what? If someone said,
Did
Obama
she
was a
have
traitor and
slight
should be
Russian
hung.
accent by any chance?
If someone said that Obama, blah, 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 I would want them to follow up if they said it wrong. But not when you are a comedian and you are using your words wisely. And Obama also never gassed his own people in a church he wasn't welcome in to go do a photo op, It's rough.
Wow.
Yep.
Is that the first time that's ever happened to you? Like a Secret Service?
Oh yeah, but you know what?
Or
It's
any
not
kind of government.
I actually tweeted to Donald Trump the other day. I was like, "Man, the LAPD hates me right now. Secret Service has called me. The Westboro Baptist Church has boycotted my shows." Do you know who they are? They're like this. The guy died. I don't know if they're still around, but they were always famous for boycotting stuff and boycotting.
They were horrible. They used to go to the funerals of gay veterans and say God hates fags and stuff like that. They were just awful, awful people.
So I said to Donald Trump, I was like, "Hey man, if you could block me, that would be a hat trick. Let's make this happen." He hasn't done it yet. That's all right.
I think Bruce Hart, a friend of ours, was blocked from Donald Trump.
Good. He should be.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Good. It's a badge of honor.
Imagine how you're a president and you just go and you have enough time in your
To be
day
blocking people.
to be blocking people.
Right, exactly. It says everything.
It says everything.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, and then the other thing that happened that was weird was I noticed 2 days ago that my fence has been painted.
Right, after everything that happened with the LAPD, someone came by at nighttime and painted our fence.
And so I called
the
up.
same color as our fence, so it's thought went into it, obviously.
Right, but they didn't do the whole fence. They did half the fence. And the real problem was I called my handyman and I said, hey buddy, I know you were fixing our lock. Did you paint the fence? He's like, no, I didn't paint the fence. So I called the city and I said, hi, my name is Dante. I recorded the police doing something and I have a feeling they came out and took all my Black Lives Matter signs off of my fence. These were hand-painted signs, not graffiti.
Wait, did they paint over those little signs that you have on the side of
So
the
they
house?
did not paint on all of those, like I call them Korean War signs, like from
They're
MASH.
cute.
Yeah, they didn't paint over those, but on my wall, on my own fence, I had some signs that said like, I can't breathe, George Floyd. This is not a riot, it's a revolution. Just things like that, but
And
on
they
my
just
fence.
went over
They
it.
painted on that. My daughter had written BLM in sidewalk chalk, and they painted over that. It was just, you touched my property. That's what bothered me. When did the city get the right to cover up anything at someone's home?
Right.
Would they do that to the mayor's fence? If he had signs supporting Black Lives Matter? No. So why did you do it to me? And so I don't know what I'm going to do to the city, but there's a man over there helping me, and he's confirmed that all of it happened. But they also, we have like an animal rescue where we rescue turtles and frogs and fish and blah, 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 blah. And they stole our sign. There's like a sign that says, hey, if you guys, you know, have an animal that needs rescuing or something. But, oh well. And I know it was them because it was hanging on the fence. And they painted the fence and now my sign's gone. Do you remember seeing that video of a cop pulling into Hollywood and there's kids running from the cop car?
Yeah.
And they start shooting paintballs at them or whatever it is? That's on the very next block.
That's on Fountain.
It's at Fountain and Mansfield, right, honey?
Somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the very next
saw
block.
that.
So it's like I told the news yesterday, Christina Gonzalez from Fox News came out, and I'm like, this whole street is where police injustices have happened. It's been
But
crazy.
the police station is on like Fountain and Cole.
Something
right?
like that, yeah.
So it's like the
It's not
Hollywood
Cole.
down.
Yeah. It's like Cole, yeah.
Like really right up here.
Right by Coanga.
But we also are on the border of West Hollywood, so we might be getting like the sheriff's department as well.
No, this was not sheriff's.
Are you sure?
Positive. Sheriff's is not who pulled over. It was LAPD who pulled over the Lewis family. And it's the city of Los Angeles that painted our fence. If we were West Hollywood, they couldn't have,
Right.
which is the opposite side of the street. It's pretty crazy. I just didn't know that if someone saw anything on your fence that they could come out and paint it
Right.
on your property. It doesn't seem right, does it? Like if those said, I love Donald Trump, and the city painted them, would there not be a lawsuit? So
Do
why?
you think they're having some sort of like an order saying like whatever,
The way he explained it to me was there was looting and rioting, and they were just
just trying to clean it up?
trying to clean up everything. But guess what? This was an independent call. Someone made a call. My guess is it's a cop. Somebody in the neighborhood who doesn't like Black Lives Matter, or someone who wants to mess with me because of my video. And
You have such a nice block though, because I'll tell you how I know. Maybe I missed some like mean bad people, but
no, we have
when
great blocks.
When we filmed, remember like a year and a half ago, we filmed. We had a day at your house.
Yeah.
And we were filming. In order to get a permit for that, I had to like survey like everybody.
We live in the best neighborhood in
And I
LA.
spoke to all of the neighbors, and some people looked like they didn't like the idea right away, you know, because they had kids or whatever.
Sure.
And I was like, we're gonna show up here with a bunch of trailers and make a movie. But you know, you just chat with them for 5 minutes, and you know, you tell them your name, and introduce yourself, and
Right.
just be nice. And everybody was like pretty awesome about the idea, and just some older lady and some families and whatnot. But you just said somebody must have called, and I would, you know, immediately.
But yeah, you would think though, if you went to
Like, who
someone's
would that be?
home and you didn't see graffiti, you just saw signs hand painted, that you would go knock on the door and say, hey, did someone already paint this? Did you guys call this in? How about it's a private home? Don't touch it? How about that? How about we start there? Right? If I want to fix the graffiti on my fence, I will fix it.
Right.
Don't touch my fence. It's not on city property. My wife, it's making her nervous, you know, because a week ago, I didn't seek this out. Even though mentally, I said to myself, man, if I'm ever there and I see injustice by the police, I will not only get it on film, I will call them out on it. The very next day, it happened in front of my home. And I was like, well, you better stand up for your own word to yourself. And I did. And I just started yelling at them. But then my poor wife she's feeling the brunt of all of this because now the video went viral, and now, there's always going to be people saying negative stuff, so you have to...
Everyone knows your name, but also now Rihanna's following you, so...
Right? That's true.
Which pisses
Rihanna.
her off so much.
Just because I love
Riri.
Rihanna.
No, it's
I'll
true.
call you later,
Did you
Ree.
get any hate? Did you
None.
get any
This is crazy.
negative?
Nothing negative, right, dear?
Yeah,
I've actually
he hasn't
gotten
received-
some of the most amazing letters, and so has she.
Right.
People are sending her letters all day. I must have gotten, I'm not kidding, over 100,000 letters. I've been trying to read and respond to everyone. And thank God they're all like one sentence.
Right.
But some are monologues. People are like, hey, I live in South Africa. I have never seen someone stand up for people like you did. You are a goat over here, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean?
I saw some guy said, you're welcome to our
Barbecue?
barbecue. Yeah,
Right,
like,
the
He's been
cookouts.
getting so
can
many
I
of
come
those.
too?
Right.
Yeah, for sure. I was like,
that's
this
what
is
I'm invited to like
great.
2,000 cookouts.
Yeah.
I feel like, oh God, I miss that so much because we've been like on the lockdown for 2.5,
Me
whatever,
too. I'll
3
go to all
months.
2,000 cookouts.
All, yep,
That's free food for like,
I know that it does
Years.
sound amazing.
right.
good.
Yeah. And we got to bring, something with us. You can't just go to cookouts
Empty-handed.
empty-handed. That's
I make
rude.
good deviled eggs.
She does. She does.
I'm just throwing it out there.
You like cookouts?
I do.
You can come
I
with
like
us.
to cook too, and I want to come. Anything.
How's your cooking?
Good.
She's been cooking too. You
But
guys.
no, but that's you're like a chef.
He is.
And
He's
you're
like a
Italian,
real chef. Yeah.
And every time you post that, I'm just like, oh, I'm just so happy. The lipstick messages you guys have, and
Aw.
My
going
wife is the
on,
best wife I've ever
And then the
heard of.
dinners, and it's a constant complimenting of each other's
Thank
just
you.
beings. It's so awesome.
Thank you.
I feel very lucky that I found him for sure.
Aw.
And we've been together like what, almost 14 years now?
Yep. I mean, but it takes effort. You have to. I said to her, I've been in bad relationships, and she had never been in a relationship. She'd only been in like dating people,
Right.
And I said to her, I'm going through a divorce, and what this divorce has taught me is that I need 5 things in my life. I need to never be lied to. I need sex. I need this. I need, there are all these different things. And she's like, I want to be that for you. And I was like, well, what are your 5? And she told me, and one of mine, which we've kept up, was I said, I never want the romance period to die. I don't. I hate that. I do believe in happily ever after. I will buy you flowers every day and open every door for forever. I won't forget. I'm just asking you to go along for the ride. And it's great, right?
Yes. But you
It
do put
looks
in work.
great, and
But
it looks
but you
very
have to put in the
genuine,
work,
too.
and it is,
Right.
and it's. I love her more than anything. And when she wakes up in the morning, first thing I say to you is what?
He said it's a beautiful day and you're the most beautiful woman in the world.
Every day I say that
Yeah.
to her. And every day she has flowers, and every day I will do that till
man.
we're
Very
old. And we've been
lucky.
together 14 years, and
Is it almost 14 or almost 13?
I don't know, but I still get butterflies around her. I can't always look her in the eyes, I think.
Shut
I'm
up.
serious.
That's so awesome. But like you put it out there on social media, and a lot of people do that, right? Just everything's presented for the public or friends, whatever, but it seems fake in like 99% of those cases, and yours is just always so, it's so real.
Thank you.
And I just hope that this kind of stuff is going to be like shown and spread, and
Yes,
'cause
everyone
it's a good
deserves to be
example.
happy.
It's a great example of just like, you can get along because, even when you're, a
We
man
work
and a
together
woman,
all
and
day.
Marriage doesn't have to suck.
Right. We work out of our house. We take care of her father who has Alzheimer's. We are in a type of position where we should be fighting and yelling at each other about, there's COVID. How are we making money when we own an entertainment company and
Sure.
we've been shut down for 4 months? And she runs all of these big comedy festivals, and
Which have
she's-
also been shut down.
right
the
for
most
now.
part.
And it's just like we're under
We're
all this stress,
hoping
but
that
we
it's gonna
don't
go back.
care because that's just not how we live. We don't want to sit there and be weirded out or upset because guess what? Things always work out for good people who put in the work. So we get up every day and we do the work and things are working out. Right?
Yes.
When you work out and you see your body, you're like, oh, that's what happens when you put in work.
Yeah.
Right?
But you have to be disciplined about that kind of stuff.
So cute. Hi.
Hi,
Hi, Samba.
Samba's living his best life.
I know that's the Fraser dog.
I know.
You have a dog, right?
We have 2 dogs. Yeah, we have Henry and Butterfly because my dad had a pit bull when he moved in.
That's
So now we
the
have
gray
both.
one.
The black one, yeah.
She's
a sweet girl.
Seen a photo.
She prefers to be called African American.
I have a black cat.
Oh yeah, Boo, right?
Boo!
Yeah. Boo was
confused about his
Good for
gender,
you.
I remember at first.
And we also love when people have black cats because people don't adopt them normally because of dumb
Like
superstition.
bad
Right.
luck. I've always had cats and always had black cats too.
Good for you.
I saw a meme recently. It said that there's like this black cat, super confused, like in the middle of the street, and he's like, can't even cross anyone's path because everybody's like, shit is so fucked up. And he's just like,
Right.
you know, it's not bad luck anymore because everything is, you know.
So
That's actually a funny meme. Someone should put a meme of like a black cat, and like it says above him like 2020, and he's like, I better just stay in from now.
I know. So wait, is Boo a boy, but you thought it was a girl at first?
We thought it was a girl because I took
has a
him
small
from
pee-pee?
somebody, and apparently he ran away from a shelter. I don't know how it happened, but basically the people I took him from, they just told me that's a she. And I just went with that for a year and a half until she got a rash.
Thank God she had a name that could be boy or girl, and
Yeah.
not Nancy.
Dude, it would have been he's a Nancy.
Right.
Nance. What's up, Nance? but yeah, it was discovered and I felt like weird for a week. I didn't know what to do.
You're like, I don't
because
even know who you are anymore.
I took my cat to the vet and I thought it's a she, and then the vet goes out and she's like, well, don't worry about fixing him because it's a she. No,
It's a he.
it's a he. It's already fixed, and that was mind blowing.
Oh my God.
It's so funny.
You're like, I have a son?
It's so confusing.
I
We're
love
good
that you have
now
a
on the
trans cat.
gender. Yeah, it's very Hollywood.
It's so
It is
Hollywood.
so Hollywood.
It's so-
We're jealous,
And he's
actually.
transitioned from female.
Right. Our dog's only gay. And our daughter's straight. That's
Boring.
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 So lame. We need to fix that. Throw some parties.
hey, you want to learn something?
See where it goes.
See up there?
Yeah.
That really tall sprout
Yeah.
up there? This is agave plant, and so that sprout means that it hit 50 years. When it hits 50 years, that sprout comes out and drops little seedlings that will become these guys again. But that plant will die now.
This is
'cause it's
also a
lived out
nature
its-
show.
It's lived out its life. I love plants.
I think I see a deer. Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. Should we do like an intro as if we're somewhere in Australia or something?
Hi, baby.
Nature show. Honestly, feel like it's super like therapeutic. When I come up here and I do a run and I see animals like that, and I'm just like, oh,
That's
okay.
happiness.
We are all one with nature.
The fucking world is not ending
Yeah.
Yeah.
yet.
Hi,
It's not over
baby.
yet.
But deer's like, no pictures, please.
I would
There's
give it sugar
usually a
cubes if I could.
family of like 6, and I've seen them on both sides because I feel like there's ways for them to get around the fence. But
I love animals so much.
Me too.
We unfortunately were both allergic to cats.
Or else we would have
Oh.
rescued, like, because there was a,
Because we
family
always
of
we
cats
rescue
that
them out. We just can't keep them at our house. We always
Yeah.
get them families though.
But there were all these strays up the street for like a year and a half, and we helped them find homes.
Yeah, there's only 2 or 3 left now, and there used to be about 20.
Poor kitties.
what's
Bye.
Hi.
Hi, baby.
Like, bye. Come back anytime.
it's a he or a she?
Is that she? I hope.
Does the she has the horns thingies?
No, the boys do.
You're beautiful.
doe.
Yeah, she's gorgeous.
She's
Do you guys ever
Yeah, she looks very young, small.
have you eaten deer?
No.
I've had it. Yeah, venison.
Mike is like, yeah, hell yeah. We that's like the chicken, meat, deer, like in Russia.
In Russia? Yeah.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah,
Oh, I
of
didn't
course.
know
That's
that.
a
But
big
you
thing, of
hunt
course.
and-
Yeah, and that's
yeah.
also a huge slab of meat for a long time. Mm-hmm. That you don't have to raise on a farm.
But it's delicious too. I miss that. I
Yeah.
miss like deer cutlets with we make it with like berry sauce, kind
Oh,
of
yum.
like kind of like for Thanksgiving turkey, kind of like the cranberry sauce that you have. It's similar, but with just different berries. But
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
the worst kind of people. We are the kind that really want to be vegan. I love bacon so much.
I was vegan for 9 months.
I did vegetarian for like a couple of years.
It's
But
hard.
Not purposely. I just.
We
didn't
just cut
want
it out now. We will do meat like twice a week instead of
Right.
every day, you know?
Right. Yeah. But that seems to be the case, right? To just moderation and not
Yeah.
overdo it.
And it's also better for your heart. I guess you're
Not
not supposed
like
to be
think
eating red
over-
meats
Right.
or whatever every day.
Yeah.
You don't want to take in too many animal fats, I
There's
guess.
so many diets now. It's so confusing what you're supposed to do. And
Yeah,
not.
and guess what? Everyone's looking for the magic pill. Eat less, exercise more. Done.
Eat more vegetables.
Yeah,
Exercise.
try eating vegetables. I'm talking to my daughter right now.
Right.
How old is she?
16,
almost
17 in a
17.
week. She'll be 17 in a week.
Is it fun?
You know what's
You know, it's easier now, I feel like, than when she was
It's
little.
fun. She has a boyfriend, and he's a nice kid. Thank
Right.
God. He's a really good boy. Because I told her, I said, her whole life, I kept reminding her, if you bring home a boy, and he's like, hey, bro, can you get Willow? I'm going to be like, Willow, you're not going on a date with this kid. Your father's taking you out for the night.
Yeah.
But if he's a nice kid, I don't care if he's creepy or whatever. As long as he acts normal in front of me, you can go out with him. I hope he's not creepy.
He doesn't mean, you need to specify creepy as a vague
Can you
term.
elaborate on the creepy
Well, guess what?
part?
I told her never date a bad kid anyway. I said, you know what? Who you're gonna like? The good boys, the ones who are cute but they're smart and
Right.
all the. Don't ever
Because
go
she's
for
had
the.
a nice dad, a nice, normal, healthy father.
Right. I'm like, if the kid is gonna open your doors and be nice and kind and respectful. You know who said something? I never thought I would quote him. Ashton Kutcher said something so powerful on the internet this week. He said.
He's a smart guy.
He actually is a very smart
smart
kid.
guy,
Yeah, and I don't mean to call him kid, guy, whatever.
He's like 40.
Man.
Yeah.
Right.
Man. So
But
he.
I know, it seems like
But yeah, he's got that baby face
those
for life.
actors kind of stick with you in those roles that
Right.
they become famous
He
for.
said, his son goes, why does she always get to have her bedtime story read first? And he goes, because girls go first. And he goes, well, why do girls go first? And he goes, because to most women, men never let them go first. In the whole world, usually women don't get to go first. But in this house, women go first. And I was like, bam.
That's
right?
why he's got the wife who's Russian-ish.
Right.
Yeah.
She is.
Yeah.
So that's the real deal. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's traditional, but I fully support that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I mean, look, when I open her doors, it's not because I think women can't open a door. It's a sign of respect, of love to her. Like, I love you so much, I'm not going to just treat you like that for the first 2 weeks that we date. I want you to feel like a queen throughout your
Always.
entire life. Yeah.
And you're doing that.
Oh,
Isn't
thanks.
it weird that everything is so twisted now that like all of a sudden men are bad for like being gentlemen?
Right.
It's like,
Isn't
wait
that
a
weird?
minute, this is nice. It's a good thing he's doing.
I know.
Stop.
Right. It's rough. I mean, because there's not a lot of nice guys, and it's hard for me to find friends, you know, because I don't really judge people. Like, if you want to cheat on your wife or
Be
something,
an asshole.
yeah, I can't
ahead.
judge you for that, but I'm also probably not going to hang out with you because it's not my style, you know what I mean? Like, I don't lie to anybody. Like, sadly, my daughter knows this, and she tells us everything, but I just don't lie to anyone, right?
Mm-hmm.
For what? I don't even see reason to lie.
Honesty saves time for
It does.
everyone.
For everything. I watch any movie, all they do is lie the whole time and then finally they tell them the truth and everything's great. Well, what? We wouldn't have had a movie if you didn't lie. That's how my life is. I go to bed and I fall right to sleep because I just don't lie.
Right.
I don't have to remember anything. I'd rather she get upset for me telling the truth, right? Than lie to her.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, it's lies that make people sad and not want to trust you. You know, we feel betrayed by people that we live with sometimes. I mean, that's the rough part. People are being forced to either live alone because before COVID, they didn't have a partner, or they are being forced to be with their partner for maybe the first time in 10 years.
Right.
Because maybe the kids are gone now, or maybe, you know, he worked this shift and she worked that, and they, you know, saw each other on weekends and went to a movie, but now it's every day, and people are starting to go, wow, I don't know if we're meant
Yeah.
to be.
I don't know, no. Are you meant to be in such close, like, you know, without having an ability to, like, go out and step outside for a little bit? Like, anybody will go crazy.
Crazy,
you know?
right,
Cause,
crazy.
yeah,
Because
for
like,
sure.
Still
regardless
crazy.
whether you're a perfect match or not, it's like
Absolutely.
you need to like fart sometimes or whatever you need
Right.
to do. Go through your little thing and do that, you know, by yourself.
Right.
I don't know. I feel like anybody will go crazy. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. For a while, like when it first happened, we like in March when we got the lockdown thing, And after like 2 weeks in, I'm pretty sure even my cat was like, okay, what's happening?
Yeah, us too.
I need my space back, woman. Why are
Can you please leave
stretching
for a bit?
here? Like, go.
Who's like, Mom, I need my space.
And I, like, of course it's, you know, partially saying it as a joke, but I kind of sense that, and I feel like when they're just all of a sudden with you all the time, I don't know, maybe it sounds like a crazy
No,
cat
that's
lady.
no. That's
But I
makes total
straight up
sense.
thought, you know, like my cat looks at me, like he went for like a few hours, he would start disappearing, and I'd be like calling my neighbors and like seeing out the window, and just trying to.
So you realize he just needed to get away from you for a
He
bit?
would just hide, yeah, and I'd be like, boo, boo.
It was like, you're home
for
too
20
much.
minutes, and then
Right.
he'd just like 30 minutes later, just walk out of
He used
some
to have 8
place.
hours of dick licking time.
Yeah. Yeah.
8 hours of just uninterrupted, unadulterated, just furry, small, tiny vagina dick.
Little
Trans
little cat
black cat dick.
penis, yeah. Little PB.
Yeah, I don't even know what a cat dick looks like. I don't want to know. And she points out every time our dog gets a boner, she's like, "Oh God, look!" And then I look, and every time she gets
Is
me.
that how you do it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I was like,
God.
gross, bitch.
But she screams it like there's a rat in the home. And so I look, and then I have an image of this pink lipstick coming out of
So
my dog.
upsetting. I shouldn't have to be the only one suffering.
Why?
Why
Why does it upset you?
This is gross. He's a baby. He's not supposed to have feelings like that.
He gets a boner when he sees you?
No! Sometimes he just gets a boner when he's going to the bathroom.
Oh.
Yeah, he'll like bend over, and he's like, "Oh, that feels good."
And I'm always like, no, not my baby.
Oh, I see what you mean, yeah. You don't want to sexualize it yet.
No,
with
he's
the dog.
a small baby. He can't be sexualized. He can't have those sorts of feelings.
I can't have frogs here. They've said it's protected.
Aw, it's too bad.
Oh, I smell death. Jesus. You smell that?
Yep.
Something died. Is that your good side? Right, keep going that way.
I'm just trying to
Mix it up.
switch it up a little bit.
So to help them with editing in case they wanted to jump around,
Thank
you're
God
really
we
helping
don't.
them.
Just wait a minute, what happened there?
I can go back to the other side if you'd like.
Doesn't matter now. We're almost done.
Can we
Really?
talk about our company?
Yes.
So why don't you do that, lady?
So Dante and myself own Golden Artist Entertainment in Hollywood, and we started it 5 years ago.
Representing all kinds of artists,
Yes.
actors,
He has a-
comedians.
Yes.
Yeah,
Dante
yeah.
has incredible clients, some fun celebrity clients, and we make movies and content, and we produce big comedy festivals.
You do, yeah.
So
I manage celebrities. She runs like the movie side and all of the festivals, and we both run the U.S. Comedy Contest. But yeah, she's a rock star, and we've got a bunch of employees that are rock stars.
How
And
do you find, Rebecca, question for you?
Yes.
Let's see. We have it. Question. So how do you find, for those festivals that you do with comedy, right? How do you find kids who do the show? Because they're all funny. Like, they're all good.
When we did the Portland Comedy Festival last year,
there's an audition process.
right, they have to submit a video, so we had hundreds and hundreds.
Okay.
No problem. So we had hundreds and hundreds of people submit their videos, and then a panel of people decided, which I think we ended up with 45 for the Portland Comedy Festival last year. So yeah, it was an amazing group of people, and
So they
we
go,
were sold out.
they can't just, it's not like an open mic situation at first.
No,
They-
we were supposed to a couple weeks ago actually have the Portland International Comedy Contest, which was something that anyone could sign up for. No one was screening to see how many years someone had done stand-up comedy or anything like
Right,
that.
usually that's the difference between a festival and a contest. A contest, anyone can join as long as you pay the fee and all of that. Whereas a festival, it's usually your video is picked amongst, 1,000 comedians, maybe, what do we pick our year? 30, 40, 50? Some pick 100, some pick 20, it just depends on the festival, right?
Right.
Some pick hundreds to go be at a festival for weeks.
Do you think we can set something up now that the conditions are kind of like lifted a little bit on the
We personally won't.
No,
Just because, yeah, go ahead.
What if it's like an outdoors kind of situation?
I mean, that would be
Ideal.
ideal if we could do something like that. I would like to start doing something like that, but as far as like a big festival goes, there's just no way I'm gonna be
Right,
able
we
to
might do
something
stand
like
up in
that.
our yard, like move our club there for a while, but we're not running to go do it. It's not that big of a deal to us. We don't look, and as comedians, we love comedy. I've done it for forever, and so has she, but our business keeps us so busy
With managing talent?
managing talent, running stuff, that it's like, even being on the road sometimes can be annoying. I'm almost at the point now where I only want to play the best of the best shows, you know? Like I want to be in Vegas or Reno or...
Vegas is, by the way, seems to be like the super chill and open.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they do seem to be open-ish, but my stepdad plays the piano at one of the casinos, and said that it's just a ghost town, that no one's there.
Well, Mayor Goodman, she left the responsibility on them. She basically said,
I
you all
saw
need to
that,
reopen,
yeah.
but I can't help you figure out how.
Right.
Saw that.
Right?
So-
Isn't that crazy?
So yeah, like my stepdad said he was playing the piano to like nobody, and he's like, I don't know how they're gonna afford to stay open because
Right.
there's
Lights.
right opening a casino costs a lot of money.
Electricity.
Keeping a casino open.
Right.
Yeah.
But they have all the money in the world. They're not hurting. I don't know why they're so
No.
impatient to open back up.
Because they
Because they're greedy.
right.
Right.
But for a huge casino, I don't know if it even makes sense to be open just for the sake of being opening and empty.
I just feel sad because I know comics who are not as comfortable as she and I might be,
Right.
that are taking my gigs that I'm turning down and running to these clubs in Florida or wherever I was booked, and they could die. They could, because they're not asking their waiters and wait staff in some of these states to even wear
In most
masks.
places that like we have friends that have performed at certain clubs and they've been posting videos and it's like no social distancing, no one's wearing masks,
Not
everyone's
even the
just, like,
bartenders or waitresses, there's
business
nothing.
as usual. And I was like, I'm not gonna go hold like a stick this close to my face that someone just talked into unless
not
they're gonna
happening.
be like really, really good about
Right.
wiping things down.
I always tell people, I'm like, if you're so worried about losing your fame or wanting to entertain people, I mean, this whole thing has been a revolution, not only for the Black Lives Matter movement, but also for just comedians, I think.
Right.
We've all figured out how to do Zoom shows and build up our social media numbers and
Yeah.
find how you make
Right.
money in COVID, you know what I mean, from home.
Well, if there's anything that you think that I can help with,
How about anything,
let
whatever,
me know.
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like if there's demand for any kind of like stuff like that, maybe we can together put something. Or not,
love
just
that.
continue, staying in touch. Thank you guys so much
Thank
for
you
doing
so
this.
much. We had the best time. Thanks, guys.
Yes, thank you.
To the crew. There's like 40 of them here. I can't believe you have this big
I
of a
know,
crew.
it's a really big production.
know.
Mike and
Yeah.
Jesse, the producers.
Yeah,
And the
the
fucking-
agent and the
Yeah. And the guy holding the camera, his name is
Right.
Nick. No one
All
likes
the
Nick.
PAs, you guys were great. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
And it's an exercise,
It was
right?
so
It's
fun, yeah,
it's
yeah,
we
yeah, yeah.
walk and we talk. We basically did exactly
You were
what
so
we
productive
came here to
today.
do.
And if you want
Right.
any celebrities for these, let me know. I'm sure I could get a couple
Whoever
people out
you
here.
have, let's do it.
Depends on like your show, but like Stuttering John Melendez, he has a pretty popular podcast that's like about politics.
He was on.
I'd love to. Yeah.
Yeah, he was big
Howard
on Howard
Stern,
forever.
he
Had a
was the
huge
host
following.
of
You should
Tonight
totally-
Show.
I'm trying
as the
to
voice guy or whatever.
make sure that there's at least like 7 or 10 of these recorded and out there up on the YouTube.
Yeah, it's a fun show. That's why I thought celebrities
so
who
we
come out here
have
just for
that?
the hike and to hang out. And
Yeah, that's the plan.
Cool.
Okay, well thank you, and
thanks, you guys.
yeah, that's it. That's
We
a
did it.
wrap. Cut.
We did it.